Yes, good morning to one and all. So, just before I proceed to the next topic, let me have some questions or review what we have discussed in the previous class. Yes, Shreyas, can you say what we have discussed in the previous class? Shreyas,
Yes, sir.
yeah, can you just name what topics we have discussed in the previous class?
So high density bipolar signalizing,
Okay, not signalizing, the signaling. Okay, high density
signaling, sir,
bipolar
sorry.
signaling.
Then
Ah,
bipolar 8-0 substitution.
okay, so I discussed those three things, no? HDB3 signaling and yeah, binary or bipolar with 8-0 signaling, right? Fine, thank you. Yes, Manjunath, can you just say about HDB3 signaling?
Sir, can you repeat, sir?
Can you say your understanding about HDB3 signaling, man? Means what is the special sequence we are going to add when I have some number of zeros? I wanted you to tell about that. Actually, what you do in HDB3 signaling, man? See, if I give you some data, so what you are going to look and what you are going to replace by a special sequence. I hope you understand my question, Manjunath. Yes, Manjunath.
Sir,
Are you understanding my question? What I am asking?
yes, sir.
Hmm. Can you just say your understanding?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
You don't know. Okay, why you did not attend the class, or you did not go through?
I forgot, sir.
You already forgotten. What, man? I thought this on Wednesday. I feel Thursday, Friday, only 2 days gap. You people should note down, no, whatever I say. Hmm? Otherwise, what? Otherwise, it becomes it goes waste, no? When you are not able to recap. Yeah. What about Chandana?
Yes, sir.
Chandana. Yeah. Can you just say your understanding about SDB3 signaling?
When there is a long sequence of zeros are transmitted, the clock
Uh,
will be recovered as the previous bit before the zero.
Fine. How many zeros are replaced by a special sequence in case of SDB3 signaling?
3, sir.
No. See, SDB3 means the value of n is 3 here, but we replace 3 plus 1, that is 4 zeros. Okay, 4 zeros by a special sequence. Two things are there here. I
Yes.
wanted to know that. Two special sequences we are going to add depending upon the number of ones in the given sequence. Yes, anybody other than Chandana?
Triple zero B and B00B.
Yeah, very good. So 000V and B00V, these are the two sequences which we are going to add to the given sequence. That depends on the number of ones in the sequence, right? So we replace 4 zeros. Okay, 3 plus 1. Actually, in HDB3, the value of n is 3, right? So 3 plus 1. So 4 zeros will be replaced by a special sequence called 000V when there is an odd number of ones following the last sequence, and that V will be equal to 1 to indicate that it is violating the bipolar rule. Okay. After that, then we substitute a special sequence known as B00V when there is an even number of ones following the last special sequence. Okay. I repeat once again, we substitute 000V when there is an odd number of ones following the last sequence. I said V will be equal to 1 to indicate that it is violating the bipolar rule. Means if the previous bit is 1, if I am representing that by positive pulse, when I am inserting this special sequence as a 000V, here the value of V is also again a positive pulse. Then I understand that yes, it is violating the bipolar rule. Then I said the B000V is a special sequence I am going to use when there is an even number of ones following the last special sequence. Okay, so I stressed upon this. I think better I will just go with the example once again. Yeah, I think this example I started, right? I spend again 2 more minutes. Yeah, is that fine if I spend 2 more minutes? Because yeah, this is my given input sequence, right? See, what we are finding in this is see, first bit is 0, next is 1, then 0, then 3 ones are there. Next I am finding how many zeros? 4 zeros are there, right? So these 4 zeros will be replaced by a special sequence called 000V. Okay, so I know in bipolar how do I represent 1 and 0? So 0 by no pulse and 1 by that is in alternate sign, right? First one I will be representing by a positive pulse, the next one I will be representing by a negative pulse, like that. So I will be representing consecutive ones by alternating sign, right? So then I represent here first one positive pulse, next 0 is there, no pulse, the next one is by negative pulse, next one by a positive pulse, next one by a negative pulse. Then these 4 zeros are replaced by a special sequence called 000V. So 3 zeros by no pulse, then V is equal to 1, I said, right? So it has to violate the bipolar rule because the previous pulse is negative. So here also I am representing by a negative pulse, so that I understand I have inserted a special sequence called 000V, and this V is for what? Violating the bipolar rule. Actually it should be positive here, right? But I am representing it by negative pulse to indicate that it is violating the bipolar rule. Next, what is there? Then 1 0 1 1 0 1 is there. See, after this special sequence, how many number of ones are there? I have 4 ones. 1 2 3 4 ones, so which is even number of ones. That is why after that I have then again sequence of zeros, right? So here these will be represented as it is, right? This one will be by positive pulse, then 0 no pulse, then 1 negative pulse, next one is by positive pulse, next 0 no pulse, then 1 positive pulse. Next, so these 4 zeros will be replaced by a special sequence called B00V, right? Why am replacing these 4 zeros by B00V? Because after this special sequence I am finding number of ones is even, that is I am finding 4 number of ones. That is why I am replacing these 4 zeros by B00V. As I said here, B is equal to 1 will be conforming with the bipolar rule. That is why I represent this one by a positive pulse, because the previous one was represented by a negative pulse. That is why the next one will be positive pulse. Then 0 0 no pulse. Then V, again I said it is violating the bipolar rule. To indicate that it is violating a bipolar rule with respect to the previous one, since it is a positive pulse, I need to represent again here by a positive pulse. Then I can say it is violating the bipolar rule. Then after that, again I found 4 more zeros, right? So those 4 more zeros, again I am replacing it by B00V. Why? Again, the number of ones will be even only, right? That is why again I am replacing 4 more zeros by B00V. So here B is 1 because with respect to previous pulse, I am representing it by a negative pulse. Then 2 zeros, no pulse. Then V is 1, means to indicate violated, it is violating with respect to the previous, I need to represent by a negative pulse because the previous one was negative pulse. Then rest of the things is what? 0 0 is there, no pulse. Then 1 positive pulse because the previous one was negative pulse, hence it is positive pulse. So in bipolar we represent by alternating sign, right? Once. Then next is 0 no pulse, next one positive negative pulse, then next one is there positive pulse, 0 no pulse, next one negative pulse, 0 no pulse, next one positive pulse. Again I found here 4 more zeros, right? So after this special sequence, how many ones are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones are there. So which is even number of, which is odd number of ones. So that is why I am replacing this 4 zeros by a special sequence called 000V, right? So 3 zeros, no pulse, 0 means no pulse, right? V indicates violated. So it has to be by a positive pulse, because here 1 I am represented by positive pulse. That is why here also I am representing this V by positive pulse. So next one is there, that is represented by negative pulse, because the previous one is positive pulse. So this is how we insert the special sequences when I have a consecutive zeros which exceeds the value of n. So here the value of n is, I said, 3. Right? If I find more than 3 zeros, I have to replace 4 zeros by these two special sequences depending upon the number of ones in the given sequence. Hope it is clear. Yes, is it clear? So this is another example I have taken. Is it another example, or yeah, 1 0? Oh, yeah, it is another example only. Yes, I request all of you to note down this sequence. Then the this HDB3 signaling also. So here the given data is what? 1 0 1, then 4 zeros, then double 1, again 8 zeros, then 1 0, right? So as for bipolar, okay, first one I will be representing positive pulse, then 0, no pulse. That is why it is at 0th level. Then next one by negative pulse. Next, you see, I'm finding it 4 zeros, right? That will be replaced by 000V. That is why 3 zeros, it is at 0th level. Then V is violated pulse. It has to be a negative pulse with respect to this previous one, because here it is a negative pulse, right? Then 1 1. So one next one will be around a positive pulse. Next one again by negative pulse. Then again I found here more number of zeros, right? So these 4 zeros will be replaced by B00V, because after this special sequence I found number of ones is 2. That is even number of ones. Hence B00V. So this B has to be a positive pulse, because the previous one was represented by a negative pulse. So it is conforming with the bipolar rule. Then 0 0 at 0th level. The next V is positive pulse, because here this previous one was positive pulse, to indicate it is violating the bipolar rule. Next, again there are 4 zeros, that is replaced again by B00V. So B is 1, means with respect to the previous bit it is positive pulse, here has to be negative pulse. Then 0 0 at 0th level, then this has to be a negative pulse, because this is at negative level, to indicate it is violating the rule. So next one is there, that is represented by positive pulse, then 0. Hope slide is changed. Yes, yes, please respond. I have changed the slide. Is it reflected at your point?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Yeah, I think now it is fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, here this positive indicates, plus indicates positive pulse. Okay, positive pulse, then 4 zeros are there. So these 4 zeros will be replaced by 000V, right? And this V is also a positive pulse, to indicate that it is violating the bipolar rule. That's what this meaning is. Okay. Similarly, here I have taken the first bit as negative pulse, then 4 zeros are there. So these 4 zeros, right, replaced by 000V now. So 000, then this V will be a negative pulse, because here it is a negative pulse, to indicate it is violating the bipolar rule. That's what the meaning of this plus and minus. Fine. So this is the substitution when the number of ones since the last substitution is odd. And this is the what if the number of ones since the last substitution is even. There is the first bit is positive, next 4 zeros are there. So I replace this 4 zeros by B00V. So here B has to be negative because the previous bit is positive pulse, right? I said this B is 1 means it is confirming with the bipolar rule. So to say it is confirming the bipolar rule, the previous bit is positive pulse, next bit has to be a negative pulse. Then only I can say it is with the bipolar rule, right? Then to indicate B00V, right? This V has to be a negative pulse because here it is a negative, right? So to say that it is violating the bipolar rule. Hope you understand why I am writing here minus 00 minus. Yes, I am asking you people, is this fine? Hello? Hello? Hello, my dear students. Is it fine? I am asking. Just have taken here one example. First bit is positive, then 4 zeros are there. I am replacing this by what? B00V. That is when even number of ones are there. So why I write here minus, then with respect to the previous bit, this is a positive pulse. This has to be a negative pulse, right? With respect to bipolar. To say it is following the bipolar rule. Then this has to be a negative pulse because it is violating the bipolar rule, because here it is negative pulse, right? Similarly, when initial bit is negative, then followed by 4 zeros, then here what? B00V, this B has to be a positive pulse because the previous pulse is negative pulse. That is why it has to be a positive pulse. Then this has to be a positive pulse because this is positive, to indicate that it is violating the bipolar rule. Just for better understanding, I have taken this. How I replace 3 zeros, that is 4 zeros by 000V and 4 zeros by B00V with respect to the previous pulse is positive or negative. Okay. Yes, is this clear? Or do you have any doubts? Yes, I am asking, is this clear? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what Naureen, do you have any still doubts?
No, sir.
No. Okay, thank you. Yeah, then I think I discussed about yeah, B8ZS. Yes, any one of you can say what is done in B8ZS? Yes, quickly, any one of you can say what is done in B8ZS. So 8 zeros will be replaced by what special sequence? That is, yes, quickly, I expect answer from you people. In
Triple
case of
zero VB, sir.
yeah, 000 VB 0
Zero.
VB. Yeah, 000 VB 0 VB is that the sequence which we are going to replace 8 consecutive zeros by that special sequence, right? So here I have taken an example, right? So this is my sequence 1 followed by how many zeros? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 zeros are there. 1, then 9 zeros, then 1 is there. So here, see, the first one will be represented by a positive pulse as per the bipolar rule. Then these 8 zeros, okay, then these 8 zeros, I am going to replace by a special sequence called what? 000, here 000, then VB, okay, then 0, again VB, okay. So what is that 000? I represent this 000, right? With 0 means 0th level, right? That is why 3 zeros are at the 0th level. Then V indicates what? Violation, right? Violating the bipolar rule, because here it is at a positive pulse. I need to indicate that V by positive pulse, then only I can say it is violating the bipolar rule. Then next is B, right? B means it is following the bipolar rule, means that has to be a negative pulse because the previous bit is positive pulse. That is why I represented by a negative pulse. Then next bit is what? 0, so it is at the 0th level. Then again V, right? So V means here I represent with negative pulse. This V has to be a negative pulse to indicate it is violating the bipolar rule. Next is B, right? So that has to be a positive pulse with respect to the previous pulse. Okay, so 000, right? 000, then VB 0 VB. Then rest of the things I written as it is. Next bit is 0, so it is at the 0th level. So next bit is 1. So with respect to the previous bit, I am representing that by a negative pulse because the previous bit is positive pulse. So here I am representing that by negative pulse. Is that fine? And for better understanding, it is written here. Plus is what? Positive pulse. Next 3 zeros. Okay. Then I said VB, no? That V has to be a positive pulse because here it is positive, right? To indicate it is violating the bipolar rule. Next B has to be a negative pulse. Then 0 as it is. Then again it is what? VB, right? So V has to be a negative pulse because the previous was a negative pulse. Then B is a positive pulse. Then 01 is there, 01 as it is. Okay. So this type of signaling is used in the DS1. Are you aware? DS1, DS2, and DS3. So these are the different hierarchy of signaling. What we say in telecommunication. Are you aware? Anywhere you have studied about these things? Yes, I'm asking you people only. Are you aware of DS1, DS2, DS3? Or you should respond. I should get some response. No, yes or no. I am asking
No,
you,
sir.
are you? You are not aware of this DS1, DS2, DS3? Okay. Okay, just let me give what is DS1. So these are all the North American digital hierarchy, what I can say. So just I will say DS naught means so 24 channels. Okay, 24 voice channels. I hope you are able to visualize, no? 24 voice channels will be multiplexed. Okay, and then we get the output, no? So that each channel will be at uh, a rate of 64 kbps. Okay, 64 kbps. So with that 64 into 24, that whatever we get on that, we call it as a DS naught signal. Just I will try to make. So assume that. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. Assume that there is a system. Okay, a box I wanted to write. So for this box, I am giving 24 input signals. Okay, 24 input signals. Each input channel. Okay, bit rate will be at 64 kbps.
So
Okay, so that we call it as a yes.
So your screen didn't change.
Screen not changed. 1 minute. Yeah, I am with the bipolar 8-0 substitution. No? Just I wanted to say what is DS naught and DS1. Okay, I will come back to that, I think. Just try to understand that. So for different bit rate, multiplexing of the signals are written by these values DS naught, DS1, and DS2 and DS3. Okay, as I said, now 24 voice channels will be called as DS naught signal. Then similarly, such 4 of DS naught signals will be called as one DS1 signal. So and its data rate will be of 1.54 Mbps. Like that. Then such 4 DS1 signals will be called as one DS2 signal, and its data rate will be of 6.312 Mbps. Like that, that multiplexing hierarchy goes up. So especially this B8ZS is used in the DS1. Just I wanted to tell the application of this B8ZS. And I told where do we use DS, that is HDB3, no? Have I told the application of HDB3 signaling?
No, sir.
I have not told. Okay. Yeah. Uh, okay. Again, I think this may give some more clarity about that B8ZS. Hope you'll be able to understand better. So what is written here? So first bit is 1, that is by a positive pulse, right? Polarity of the previous bit. Then zeros are there. How many zeros? 2, 4, 6, 8 zeros are there. So how do I replace these 8 zeros in case of B8ZS? So first bit I am writing as it is, right, with the positive pulse. Then what is the sequence I said? Triple zero, right? Triple zero I am writing. Then V. V is a violating pulse, right? So since the previous bit is with positive pulse, I have to write with positive pulse, okay, to indicate it is violating. The next bit is B. B is 1 means with respect to this, it is following the bipolar rule. That is why I represent this by negative pulse, okay. Then 0, then again V, right? So V means here it is negative pulse. Again, I have to represent this by a negative pulse. So to indicate it is violating the bipolar rule. The next is B, right? That is with positive pulse because the previous bit is at negative pulse. Next one is the positive pulse. Hope this point is clear. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't think there is any other way to make you understand much easier than this with so much clarity. Okay, here I assume first bit is positive. Yes, in the same way, the polarity of the previous bit is negative, then followed by 8 zeros. How do I replace these 8 zeros by that special sequence, right? Anyhow, this negative pulse I write as it is, then triple zero, then VB, right? So this V has to be a negative pulse here to say that it is violating the bipolar rule because here it is negative, right? That is why it has to be negative. Then B has to be positive pulse because the previous bit is negative pulse. Then 0, then again violation. So this has to be a positive pulse because here it is positive to indicate it is violating the bipolar rule. Next is negative pulse because the previous bit is positive pulse. Okay. So I hope this has cleared your B8ZS. I hope you will be able to write without any mistakes. I think both the things are clear. Okay, when the previous bit is 1, how I replace those 8 zeros by this sequence. Similarly, when the previous bit is negative or represented by negative pulse, then how do I represent, how do I replace those 8 zeros by a special sequence? Yes, if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I will go to the next slide. If this is clear. Yes, no response means what? Whether it's clear or not clear. Yeah, again, I don't want to repeat the same thing. I will go to the next one, that is, yeah. Let me say about, yeah, these are all again examples with the, yeah, B8ZS and as well as B3ZS, SD B3 is written here. So let me go to next one, which is B6ZS. Okay. Yeah, here B3ZS is there. Okay. Yeah. I think I have not written this B6ZS. Okay. I will just give an example. What is done in B6ZS? So B6ZS means what? Binary with 6 zeros, right? Binary with 6 zero signaling means if I have 6 zeros continuously, those 6 zeros will be replaced by a special sequence known as 0VB, 0VB. Okay, 0VB and 0VB. Hope got my point. Just I write in chat box, in case of B6ZS, this is what? Binary with 6 zeros, right? Binary with 6 zeros. Binary with 6 zeros signaling. Binary with 6 zeros signaling. So what is happening here? The 6 zeros are replaced by the 6 zeros are replaced by a special sequence, replaced by a special sequence. What is the sequence I said? Yes, any one of you can say what is the special sequence?
0
That is
VB,
0,
0
yeah, 0 VB, then 0 VB. Okay, 0 VB, 0 VB. Hope this point is clear. Means if I will ask you people to write and show. Just I give the data 0, 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros I will give. Okay. Then okay. Then 1, 0, 1, 1. So you write the B6ZS code for this waveform. You have to replace 6 zeros by that special sequence. The special sequence is what? 0 VB, then 0 VB. Yes, you people can write in the chart box only. Yes, you got my point. So what I write? 0, then 1. So 6 zeros has to be replaced by what? 0, then V, B, then again 0, V, B, then rest of the bits. I think I actually written 8 zeros. Then next 2 zeros I would write. Then 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay. Okay. Yeah, 0 VB, 0 VB. Fine. Okay. So that V, what is that V? So I wrote, I will write in terms of plus and minus sign. Okay. 0, 1 is there, right? That 1 has to be written by, as per bipolar, what pulse? Positive pulse or negative pulse?
positive.
First bit is 1, no? Yeah, positive pulse. Then next is next I need to replace that 6 zeros by a special sequence called 0 VB, 0 VB I said, no? Okay, 0 plus then 0. Then what is the violated pulse polarity?
V is positive.
Yeah, V is positive. Then 0 V B, no? So B should be negative, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So 0 VB. Then again 0 VB, right? Then 0 V here. What is V? Again, it is a negative pulse, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then B is positive pulse. Okay, then rest of the bits, that is 0, 0, then 1, 0, then 1, 1. This should be this one. So plus indicates positive pulse, right? Next again plus, there is a V, that is again positive pulse to indicate that it is violated the bipolar rule. Next B should be negative pulse, then 0, again negative pulse to indicate it is violating the bipolar rule. Then next is positive pulse, then rest of the things. Then 0, 0, it is at 0th level. Then 1 is, it should be at negative level, right? Then 0, then positive, then negative. Okay. I would have written even that 1, 0, 1 also with plus, that is with minus 0, then plus minus. Fine. Yes, only Skanda has replied. What about others? At least in chat box also you can't communicate. Akshay Kumar, okay. You would have done complete with even last 4 bits also positive, negative. That is negative, positive, negative. Yes. Yes. What about others? Yes, I'm asking. What about others? What Prajwal? What are you doing, man? You are not unmuted, Prajwal. Yes, Kuber. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Yes, Akshay Kumar could do it. So he's interacting. Then Shreyas MP is fine. Yeah. Yes. What is this? Only 2 people are responding. What about rest? What they are doing? Yes, I should name it to get the response.
Sir, could you repeat again once if you don't mind?
See, 6 zeros are replaced by a special sequence called 0VB, 0VB. Okay, I have taken here example as what 0, 1, then 8 zeros, 1, 0, 1, 1 is my sequence. Okay, so what I said, the 0 I write as it is, then 1 by a positive pulse, then I have to replace 6 zeros by the special sequence I said, that is 0VB, 0VB. So the here V will be represented by a positive pulse to indicate that it is violating the bipolar rule, because the previous one is positive pulse. Then B has to be a negative pulse because the previous one is positive pulse. 0, then again V, that has to be a negative pulse because the previous one is negative pulse. Then B is there, so that has to be a positive pulse because it is in with the bipolar rule. Then 0, 0, then negative pulse, then 0, then positive, then negative. That is what your friends have done, Akshay and Shreyas. Yes, is it clear or still you have doubts? I expect a response from others also. Yes, quickly, people should respond. Yes, Kuber, is it clear or still you have doubts?
Yes, sir, got it.
Got it, okay. Sachin, okay, it's fine. Plus, plus. Yes, what about others? What is this, sir? Getting response, I have to ask so many times. Just replace 6 zeros by a special sequence called 0VB, 0VB, I said. Yes, what about Naurin? Do you have doubt or not understood?
I'm drawing it, sir.
Oh, you're drawing it. You can write in chat box only, just that sequence. It's polarity.
Okay.
I'm asking people to respond in chat box. That is a quick response what I can get. Yes, Chandana. Yes, 45 people are there. Only 2-3 people are responding. What is this? What rest are doing? Yes, Aditi, Sujan. Respond, huh? Chandan. Yes, if you don't respond in chat box, I don't consider your attendance. Okay, Manasa has responded. Fine. Then Srujan responded. Yes, quickly. So that some involvement I can find, right? Otherwise, what? I don't know what people are doing. Chandan, Chandana. Yes, Anand done. Rishav Kumar. Yes, quickly. Be fast. Be fast in responding your answers. Okay, still many people are there. What about Sneha, Subiksha? Okay, good. Diksha has responded. Tiparna. Yes, Gayatri. Gayatri. Yes, Muhammad Anas is also responded. Very good. Means others are not with me. Whoever has not responded so far, I think they are not with me. Okay. Abhishek Reddy, Danya, Nalina responded. Okay. Okay, let me proceed further to the next one. That is, okay, this is about B8ZS, I said, right? Yeah, B3ZS. Next one is B3ZS. So, what is done in B3ZS is, so in case of B3ZS, means three zeros, right, are replaced by a special sequence called B0V or 00V. Hope got my point. In case of, I will write again in chat box, then I will show the diagram. In case of B3ZS, what is this one is binary with 3 zero signaling. Okay, it is what? Binary with 3 zero signaling, with 3 zeros. Binary with 3 zeros signaling it is. So here the 3 zeros are replaced by a special sequence called what? 3 zeros are replaced by a special sequence is what? One is, I said, B0V, okay, B0V, or it will be replaced with 00V. Okay, so now the question is, when do I use B0V or when do I use 00V, right? So again, the replacement code, either B0V or 00V, is the choice being made so that the number of B pulses between consecutive V pulses is odd. So this is a catchy point. You are supposed to understand what I am saying. The replacement code, that is the special code, right? What B0V or 00V, that choice of that code is made so that the number of B pulses between consecutive V pulses is odd. The number of B pulses between consecutive V pulses is odd. Okay, so let us take the example and let me write what is the B3ZS for this. Okay, so let me just give the sequence here only, that is 0 1, then 6 zeros, then 1 0 1 1. Okay, so this is my input sequence. So any one of you can say how do I write this with that B3ZS? Yes, quickly people should say. Yes, are you getting my point? What I am saying? Yes. So 0, 1 is there. Next 6 zeros are there, right? Those 6 zeros, the first sequence will be 0, 0, V I write. Then I write B0V. Then it will be B0V. Okay. Then rest of the things. So 3 plus 6 zeros are replaced. Then how many zeros I have written? Where is my? Okay. Okay. 3 plus 3 is 6 zeros. Then the next is there is 1, 0, 1, 1 only. Means if you want to, what people have written 0, 1, B0V.
Sir, first can we write B0V and then 00V, sir? Or should we write 00V and then B0V, sir?
Yeah, I wrote no 00V, then B0V.
Sir, if we
Because
interchange it wrong, sir. First B0V and then 00V.
yeah, what happens? I said now, what is the choice? How do I make the choice of replacing the 3 zeros by either B0V or 00V? That depends on what I said.
Sir,
The
depend
number of B pulses
should be
between
odd.
consecutive V pulses is odd.
Sir, is it between consecutive V pulses or in the complete sequence, sir?
Between consecutive V pulses.
Okay, sir.
So that's why since it is not 0, 1, no? So first bit is 0, next bit is positive pulse. Then if I write 00V, then that is 0, 0, then it will be a positive pulse, right? Yes or no? Waiting. So positive pulse. Then B is again what? Negative pulse. Then 0, then V is negative pulse, rest of the bits. So in terms of polarity, so 0, then plus, right? Then what? 0, 0, then violating, that is plus. Then next is 0, 0, V, then B0V, right? B 0, again V is negative. Then what is that? Sequence 1, 0, that is 1, 0 means again it is positive, 0, then 1, 1, that is negative, then positive. Okay, Akshay Kumar has written. Yeah. Yeah, fine. Okay, so this B3ZS is used in a DS3. Okay, DS3 signaling. Okay, first of all, if people don't know about that, what is DS1 and all. Yeah, whenever I am using the tab, no, during that time I can say in just brief what is DS0, DS1, DS2, and DS3. Okay, so with this what I can say is this module 1 is completed. Okay. So if you have any questions to ask, you can ask. Otherwise, I will take the attendance. You have any questions to ask?